Okay, I'm putting this video together just to have a look at how to release a guide plate when it's under load. That's when your climber has maybe fallen off because the route's too hard for them, or it could be, at worst case, they've been hit by a rock or something, so we need to get them down as quick as we can. The guide plate will obviously auto lock. Once it's jammed up, it is difficult to release without practice. Super popular, see lots of people are using them at the crag these days. I think a lot of people probably haven't practiced this, which is it's a skill that does need practicing. If you don't back it up somehow, which we'll look at in a second, and you just release it, it's nearly impossible to control it. It will slide through super quick and you'll lose control very quickly. So you do definitely need to back it up for sure, okay? We'll look at that now then. So the first thing you need to do is redirect the dead rope through your belay. So we've got a PowerPoint set up here with a sling. Mega bomb-proof anchor. If you're belaying from your harness on an indirect belay, if your partner does fall off, then you're going to absorb some of the shock. With a setup like this, with the guide plate, a direct belay, all the weight is going to go straight onto the belay. You're not involved at all, so you've got to make sure it is 100% bomb-proof. Just using a snapper, because that's all I've got left, apart from one screw gauge I'm going to use a bit later for something else. When I'm personal climbing, I've only got 4. So I've used 3 already, so you know that's just the way it is. If I'm working, I'll have a few more, but you know, I use the guide mode a lot just for climbing with mates as well. So you've got to be able to do it with minimal kit. So we're going to redirect the dead rope, clip it up to there. All right, and then we're going to back it up with a prusik. We're going to use a French prusik for this one, and with this sort of combination of rope and prusik, looking at about 6 wraps, seems to grip nicely. So we've got 3, 4, 5, 1 for luck, clip them together. This is where I'm going to use my screw gate. This is the safety backup thing, so I've kind of deemed it the most important thing to use my spare screw gate for. That's going to clip into my rope loop, screw it up, and just get that kind of ready to use for later. Alright, we can see, there you go, it does grip up once it's all nice and neat. There you go. The next bit is we need to, now it's backed up, we need to start thinking about releasing the ATC itself. So I find the best way of doing this is to use a thin sling. You can fit the end of a carabiner in sometimes, but I find it just a bit quicker to do this. Different brands of device have bigger or smaller holes. This one's quite small, but it's enough to poke a thin sling through. Just lark's foot it in there. Get that all snugged up as well. Push it up through the top. And again, just through a snap gate, because that's all I've got left. I'm going to do it underneath this one. I find it works a bit better that way, keeps it a bit freer, and the rope's running more smoothly. Loop that sling up through there, and then I'm going to tie a quick knot in here. You'll see why in a second. So that's just shortened the sling a bit there, and I'm going to clip this into my harness and go into the same loop there. Now, the reason I've done this is to free up my hands a bit more. If I'm pulling on a sling with a hand, that's obviously, you know, it's just taking my hands off the dead rope. So if I use my body weight to do it, it means I can concentrate on that dead rope, which is obviously the most important part. So the theory being now that as I sit back down, the ATC will lift up and unlock. I'll take over doing the kind of the braking with the prusik and the dead rope as you normally would, and then hopefully it will go nice and smoothly, and your stuck climber will be lowered back down to the ground. Alright, so all I need to do, if you watch the ATC there, as I sit down, it's all opening up. So what we're doing is we're separating these 2 ropes. The rope's not going to go anywhere yet because I've still got hold of the dead rope, okay? As I start to feed that through, that's just going to slide through nice and easily like that. Super simple. At any point you need to stop, you just pull the dead rope as you normally would, and you can sit back up as well, and that'll all go back down to its locked position. Simple as that. So lean back, that all opens up, then you can start to release the dead rope, just slide it through, and we're all good. Okay, but you must have this backup of some sort. There's other ways of doing it for sure. You could use an Italian hitch or something. This way I find just nice and simple. It also means that if I get hit by a rock, if my partner's been hit by a rock, it could be on a loose route, then this all jams up anyway. The prusik's going to lock up, and it doesn't matter that I let go. He or she's just going to be dangling there, and we can, you know, something will happen, but at least we haven't both fallen anywhere. All right. Is what it is. I apologise for scratching a lot. There's a lot of midges here, and I hate midges. Thanks for watching, eh? Okay, I'm putting this video together just to have a look at how to release a guide plate when it's under load. That's when your climber has maybe fallen off because the route's too hard for them, or it could be, at worst case, they've been hit by a rock or something, so we need to get them down as quick as we can. The guide plate will obviously auto lock. Once it's jammed up, it is difficult to release without practice. Super popular, see lots of people are using them at the crag these days. I think a lot of people probably haven't practiced this, which is it's a skill that does need